It's Monday, December 19. In the headlines, Tourism Minister says Caribbean is showing an increase in travel. Regionally, bomb scare at an airport in Trinidad. And in sports, we take a look at Lionel Messi's career on the heels of his team's World Cup win. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I am Maya Chung. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the Caribbean is showing an increase in the number of available airline seats to Jamaica, especially with the recent addition of the Dominican Republic's flagship Arajet Airlines.
And so, Inter-Caribbean is happening, Caribbean Airlines happening, Cayman Airways happening, Bahama Air happening. So we're seeing now that the regional tourism is picking up back. And that's a good sign for us. So we have a 16% increase in the seats from the Caribbean.
He notes that the Latin American market has not come back fully since the pandemic, but quickly adds that the South American market is really not a winter market.
Because their summer is our winter. And so what we really have to compare properly now is when we get to summer, our summer, to see what those seats are looking like. And by then, the LATAM would be back, Copa would be back in its full flight, and we would begin to see the effect even of Arajet that operates in South America through Dominican Republic to Jamaica. So even though the numbers for the South American market now is slightly below what it was in 2019, all the signs are there that South America market is coming back.
Minister Bartlett says the industry's recovery is where his team had anticipated.
Now we're seeing a full recovery into 22-23 for the stopover arrivals, certainly by end of fiscal 22-23, which would be end of March 31st, we would see not just a full recovery in terms of stopover arrivals, but the earnings would go up by some 20% to 4.2 billion US dollars.
Tourism is a key driver of the Jamaican economy. The sector plays a strong role in generating taxes, employment, income, foreign exchange inflows, and given its linkages with other production sectors, it impacts a wide cross-section of the economy. The Bank of Jamaica is reporting that the total currency in circulation during December 2022 is expected to amount to $227.6 billion. This is the statement of Bank of Jamaica BOJ as reported by the Jamaica Observer today. The projected currency stock represents a 0.3% increase compared to 19.1% for the corresponding period in 2021, the BOJ further stated, adding that a total of $211.4 billion was in circulation as at December 9. The central bank in a statement said the forecast is approximately $21.5 billion or 10.4% more than the $206.1 billion in circulation at the end of November 2022, but falls below the 15.2% five-year average growth rate for the month of December. This lower growth reflects a moderation in cash orders for December 2022 relative to the orders for the same period in 2021. The latter period reflected high demand for precautionary cash within the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as strong growth in remittances. The deceleration has also occurred within the context of a trend increase in the use of electronic means of payments, the BOJ further stated. The central bank indicated that when the forecasted change in the general level of consumer prices is considered, the currency stock in real terms is projected to decline by 9.4%, which compares to real growth of 11% for the previous year. People are being encouraged to use cash as little as possible this Christmas season. Senior Superintendent of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Stephanie Lindsay, says consumers should use their bank cards instead. However, she says when using bank cards, there are a few things you should bear in mind.
First of all, you want to use a card in a manner that you're protecting your password, your PIN. You want to make sure nobody knows your PIN number. When you go to the store, there's something that they call that they skim your card. They steal your information so that they can put it on a bogus card, and then it mimics your card. So what you want to do in those instances is that once you go somewhere to use whether your credit card or your debit card, it should not be removed from your presence. You shouldn't take your eye off your card. So you watch them put the card in the machine and you watch them take it out. So you don't let anybody go to an office or go somewhere else. The good part of it is that the point-of-sales machine, they are mobile. So there's no reason for it to be taken out of your side. So keep an eye on your cards at all times.
In the business report, this week's business tip from Sterling Asset Management tells us how to spend effectively this holiday season. We have that plus your usual market updates from Danita Rodney.
My name is Anna Joy Tibi, and I'm the Assistant Vice President of Personal Financial Planning at Sterling Asset Management. I have been a financial advisor for over 8 years, working with my clients one-on-one to help them achieve their financial goals. The holidays are coming up, and I'd like to share with you some tips on how to spend effectively during the holiday season. It can be easy to go overboard with spending during the holiday season, but controlling your holiday spending is essential to building healthy financial habits. An important tip is to apply the pay yourself first rule to all funds you receive during the season, from your salary to bonuses and incentives. Practice to set aside some of your money in a savings or investment account before starting to spend or pay bills. Secondly, planning and budgeting ahead of the season, as celebrating doesn't have to leave you cashless or with high credit card balances. Sticking to a budget is a good way to keep yourself out of debt at any time of year. Start by making a list of all your activities for the season, from gifts to groceries, and assign a spending limit for each and try to stick within that amount that you budgeted. Whenever possible, use cash or a debit card to help you stay within your budget. As when you use a credit card, it can be more tempting to go over budget as your credit card limit may be higher than the amount you budgeted. This has been your Biz Tip from Sterling Asset Management.
Now for your market updates. In foreign exchange trading for Friday, December 16, the US dollar sold for an average of $153.83. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $112.65. The pound sterling traded for $188.28, and the euro sold for $162.13. In JSE trading, the JSE index declined by 1,031 points. The junior market index advanced by 23 points. The combined market index declined by 744 points, and the All Jamaican Composite Index declined by 1,890 points. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 102 stocks, of which 48 advanced, 36 declined, and 18 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited. Stocks declined for Blue Power Group Limited, Cargo Handlers Limited, and Caribbean Cream Limited. Trading firm were 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Viable Preference, Birds Paints Jamaica Limited, and CAC 2000 9.5% Cumulative Redeemable Preference Shares. The overall volume leaders were Wigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares with over 20 million units, Regency Petroleum Company Limited with over 2 million units, and Jamaica Boilers Group with over 1 million units. In regional stocks, on the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange, Clico Investment Fund was a volume leader with over 9,000 shares, followed by Calypso Macro Index Fund with a volume of 150 shares being traded. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, Government of Barbados Bond Series B was a volume leader with over 20,000 shares, followed by Epic Caribbean Property Fund Value Fund, which traded 6,000 shares. In regional business, Guyana is an attractive tourism destination, and President Dr. Ifan Lee believes that the country could capitalize on this, especially since there will be direct flights from the United Kingdom soon.
So you hear about the sandals, with the blue water, the white beaches. Great and beautiful. We love the Caribbean world. But we have something to offer too. We have blue water, white sands, black water, white silica sands, and the greatest ecotourism product to complement. Just imagine the forest Amazonia sandals in the world. Let's build it together. Let us not wait for sandals to come and do it. Let us come together in the private sector. What I've just described to you is a product that exists right in London. I assure you the British Airways is coming. The British market is the largest target market for ecotourism. And we add the black water and white sand and the blue water and white sand to that, we are cooking on gas. This is no joke. This is impactful transformation.
In international business, over the weekend, Twitter CEO Elon Musk launched a poll on the social media platform asking users whether he should step down as head of the company, adding that he would abide by the poll results.
Elon Musk asked Twitter users on Sunday if he should step down as CEO of the social media site. In a poll launched on the platform, he asked, "Should I step down as head? I will abide by the results." However, replying to one Twitter user's comment over who would then take the reins, Musk said, quote, "There is no successor." The billionaire, who also runs Tesla and SpaceX, bought Twitter in October. This latest poll comes after Twitter announced a policy update on Sunday. The company said it will remove accounts created solely for the purpose of promoting other social media platforms and content that contains links or usernames. But cross-content posting from other sites will still be allowed. The new measure would impact content from platforms like Facebook, Mastodon, Truth Social and Tribal. Former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, who recently invested in social media platform Nostr, replied to the Twitter support post with one word: why? The policy change follows other chaotic actions at Twitter since Musk took over, including the firing of top management and indecision over how much to charge for Twitter's subscription service, Twitter Blue. On Friday, Musk reinstated several journalists' Twitter accounts he had suspended for allegedly sharing location data about him.
In market data for oil rose after falling by more than $2 a barrel in the previous session as optimism over the Chinese economy outweighed concern over a global recession. Brent crude gained 65 cents to $79.69 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate crude rose 85 cents to $75.14 a barrel. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news in the Bahamas, local pediatrician Dr. Carlos Thomas says it is important for parents to be aware of which toys are safe for their children as they give their little ones presents this Yuletide season.
Toys are very important for children, for recreation, for education and stimulation and so on. So it's nice to have nice, bright, colorful toys, toys that make sound.
He says parents must always supervise playtime as some toys can be choking hazards. He also spoke to the importance of everyone knowing basic CPR.
Basic CPR can make the difference between life and death. If your child is choking, the first thing to do is to lift your child up gently, pat on the back. Sometimes it's very obvious the thing that you're choking on, and if you can reach it clearly with your finger, of course you do a swoop. But it's very important that you do CPR.
In Trinidad and Tobago, passengers on board a Caribbean Airlines flight on Saturday were evacuated from the flight following reports of a threat.
Passengers and crew on board BW1832 en route to Tobago from Trinidad were safely deplaned. Caribbean Airlines confirmed via press release that a threat was received via the Airport Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and in keeping with the standard operating procedure, the flight was evacuated and checks are being conducted by the necessary authorities. The airline confirmed that once the aircraft is cleared, it will be returned to service.
As Barbadians continue their 2022 Christmas celebrations, they are being warned not to let their guard down. This is advice from Attorney General Dale Marshall. We have that story from Trevor Thorpe.
The Attorney General says fighting crime is not a police matter alone, but a national issue.
At Christmas time, there are lots of individuals in the criminal element who are looking for opportunities to rob, opportunities to commit break-ins and so on. Fighting crime is not just a police situation. Every single Barbadian is a component to this process, and so in terms of the opportunistic crimes, the burglaries and so on, Barbadians need to be very vigilant.
The Attorney General also disclosed that a blueprint focusing on taking policing to the next level is being developed.
Well, there's a whole set of stuff that's being done. It's not just going to be teaching them how to shoot, things like that. We're going to get into another element of policing, and I think that that's going to bring dividends as we go forward.
Turning his attention to the luncheon of the St. Joseph branch, he says the return of the function after a shutdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic is good news for his constituents.
Hundreds of people look forward to this event, so it's good to be back among the seniors, and we're taking every precaution as far as COVID is concerned, because COVID is still with us. But I know that they're all happy to be here with us celebrating Christmas.
Amid the celebrations, the Attorney General is hopeful for a safe and incident-free Christmas 2022. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Guyana's President Dr. Irfan Ali says that the local health sector will improve in coming years in an effort to provide better care to locals while also attracting foreigners seeking specialized services.
We're expected to have a minimum of 2 level 5 hospitals and 4 level 3 hospitals across our country in the next 4 years. 2 level 5. Level 5 is the highest. And 4 level 3. And that is public sector. The private sector is also investing heavily in healthcare, because we see the potential of healthcare as an export ornament for us. We're also exploring the possibility of a new level 5 hospital in New Amsterdam Region 6, and a new state-of-the-art mental health facility, because mental health is very important to us. We're also working with Barbados and the rest of the region in developing jointly in this region our first mRNA vaccine production factory. That is where we're positioning our country. Very soon, we're hoping that we will realize our first private development and investment in stem cell. Not stem cell research, but stem cell, where athletes, global celebrities, the global rich will come here because we will have a stem cell facility. This is the transformation I speak of. We're looking at the building of a nursing school in collaboration with USA or UK or Canada certified universities and nursing programs. So when you get accredited from these institutions, you can go into any of those economies easily. Not for the Guyanese market, but we are targeting international students to come to this nursing school.
In international news, the climate crisis is being tackled in an unusual way by scientists at the University of California's Davis campus. They are focusing on changing what cows eat in order to reduce the greenhouse gases the animals produce. Al Jazeera's Rob Reynolds reports.
When you think of global warming, you probably picture cars, coal, but cows? Well, it turns out cows are prolific producers of the potent greenhouse gas methane, says University of California, Davis animal scientist Frank Mitloehner.
Methane from animal agriculture is the #1 greenhouse gas. That makes up the vast majority of warming contributions from livestock.
36% of all methane in the U.S. comes from cattle, more than even from the oil and gas industry. There's some complex chemistry going on here. Cows have 4 stomachs. In one of them, microorganisms break down food into nutrients, producing methane as a waste product. Cows burp the fermented food back up and chew it some more. Each cow belch is a blast of methane into the atmosphere.
I call methane the fast and furious. I call it fast and furious because it has a real punch to it. It's more heat trapping than, let's say, carbon dioxide, CO2. So it's more powerful. If you reduce methane, you reduce warming.
Mitloehner and scientists around the world are trying to do that by slightly changing what the animals eat.
You just change the composition of microbes in the rumen.
And this doesn't harm the cows at all?
No. From those microbes that produce methane to those microbes that don't.
Here, graduate students are preparing feed for the university's herd of Black Angus cows. Then they sprinkle a bit of red dust in each animal's trough before the heifers chow down.
This is the pulverized bark of the quebracho tree, which grows in South America. And scientists working here have found that just a small amount added to cattle feed can reduce cows' methane emissions by 10%.
Far from this feedlot, environmentalists are angry with the Biden administration for agreeing to legislation prohibiting federal agencies from measuring methane in agriculture, bowing to demands by the agribusiness lobby.
This administration's abysmal approach to measuring and reducing emissions from methane in agriculture undermines their credibility in international climate forums.
Meanwhile, back in California, the cows are munching away, seemingly happy and hopefully less gassy. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Davis, California.
And in other news, Taiwan's government has opened a probe into Chinese-owned social media platform TikTok on suspicion of illegally operating a subsidiary on the island, though the company's owner denied the accusation.
Taiwan's government has opened an investigation into TikTok. It suspects the Chinese-owned social media platform illegally runs a subsidiary on the island. Taiwan's Liberty Times newspaper reported TikTok's owner ByteDance had set up the subsidiary to tout for business. The report said that would break Taiwanese law that Chinese social media platforms cannot have commercial operations on the island. Authorities have confirmed they discovered a suspected breach of the law and said there was a high risk of the Chinese government collecting users' personal information. ByteDance denied the accusation. Taiwan has banned a wide range of Chinese business operations, from social media platforms to its highly valued chip manufacturing industry. TikTok is not widely used on the island, but is growing in popularity among the youth, according to market research firms. Taiwan has long complained China uses social media to spread disinformation on the island Beijing claims as its own territory. TikTok has also come under pressure elsewhere, mainly in the US. That's over worries about China getting access to users' personal data, which the company denies.
And in sports today, we take a look at Lionel Messi's career on the heels of his team's World Cup win. Lionel Messi has led Argentina to World Cup glory after the most thrilling final in the 92-year history of the tournament. Argentina took the lead through Messi and Angel Di Maria only for Kylian Mbappe to score a late brace. Messi restored Argentina's lead in extra time, but Mbappe again hit back for France, completing his hat-trick and taking the game to a penalty shootout. Argentina won the shootout 4-2 to claim the World Cup and victory in one of the sport's all-time great games. As the world lauds Messi's triumph along with his team, PBCJ Sports takes a look at Messi's World Cup career and highlights. The forward has delighted football fans for more than 18 years with his scintillating, elegant brand of football, picking up more than 10 La Liga titles and 4 Champions Leagues along the way. 8 years ago, Messi came close to the World Cup, dragging his team to the final in Brazil, only to lose to Germany in extra time. At the start of this World Cup, it looked like another trophyless campaign was on the cards when Saudi Arabia fought back from a Messi opener to beat the South Americans 2-1 in the first of many tournament upsets. From then on, Argentina grew in confidence, with Messi emerging unsurprisingly as their key player. The veteran forward rolled back the years and was in unstoppable form, with 7 goals in the tournament, 1 less than French striker Kylian Mbappe, who won the Golden Boot Award. And that's the news on PBCJ. I am Maya Chung. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.